What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, and recently I went over the Megaton promos, and I talked about how not good they were. I am changing my stance on that, and I will show you guys in these duels why I believe so. I'm actually really surprised. I think there's lots of good things you can do. Okay. So, preview here. Shaddoll Fusion is in this deck, and that card that says if you fusion summon using it, I don't think people are thinking about it this way, and I just thought of it randomly on a drive home. I have long drive homes from work, and I listen to Yu-Gi-Oh podcasts and everything like that. So it's definitely a way to get your Dark Magicians into the graveyard in a very positive way. So here is a Dino board. There you go. Like I said, I can stack this on the decks, and then once I use Shaddoll Fusion, I'm using Dark Magician. Also for Winda, of all things, as well, which is massive. Just like that. And now I have a Dark Magician in the graveyard. I can stack whatever I want next turn and draw it, obviously. Excuse me. And I have another Shaddoll Fusion for next turn as long as I survive. But being that I already have Eternal Soul, I already have a form of disruption. So he does pop my Eternal Soul, which is a bummer, but definitely helps me survive at least another turn. And now I can use Shaddoll Fusion again. That's another pop. And I can go after the graveyard too if I really wanted, and it's so easy to chain block as well. So there you go. Got another window on the board, which is extremely powerful, and it definitely doesn't hurt Dark Magician that much at all. And I'm just waiting for him some form of interaction, and there's the new support, which is Successor Soul. And I was able to add that Dark Magician back to the hand, obviously, which is quite useful. And he actually uses triple tactical talents, but it doesn't matter, really. I just have to survive. Which I should be able to do pretty easily. Direct for one, but that's fine. And then I top deck Keeper of Dragon Magic, which is fantastic. So such a good card. It's actually insane, but... And I can just go ahead and burn for the rest. Or excuse me, or take advantage, I should say. Not this doesn't win me the game, but darn near. And he top decks Ash Blossom, which is definitely not enough. So I thought that was a pretty darn good display, especially triggering that thing off twice. I was way too hasty. I think I used... Oh no, I didn't use the trap card, which I do run one of. So this is a really good opening, obviously, for Dark Magicians. This just does so much more disruption for Dark Magicians. And especially having access to Shaddoll cards in the extra deck, I think, is also really big. And then I top deck a Dark Magician, which is actually pretty good. He goes ahead and negates that, which is fine. Especially because I can just go into here. I pop one of the back rows, which ends up being a Cosmic Cyclone, which is really big. I probably misplayed that there. Probably should have gone main phase 2 Predator Plant, Verde Anaconda. He really doesn't have much. And I can go for a little bit of defense here. I don't mind doing that, taking away an Effect Veiler for him. It's not the end of the world, for sure. And to make sure he doesn't negate anything this turn, obviously. Don't need that Shaddoll Fusion. Ends up being a Poly, which doesn't help. But still, Dark Magicians are always in for the long game. And Dark Magicians obviously are unaffected by card effects, so it's a waste. He goes to waste his Alistair, which is something I would not have done personally, but... And I knew it's going to trigger his effect, but it's unaffected, so it doesn't matter. I would have gone in here, gotten Search with Rod, probably gone into... I could have even gone to the new Dark Magician Fusion monster. I mean, I had tons and tons of options. Here's Rocket Link. Not the best version of Rocket Link probably, but still Rocket Link. Maybe like a budget option you'd see at locals or something like that. So I get myself set up with the Super Poly. I need Eternal Soul. Eternal Soul is not online yet, but still Super Poly is a good piece of interruption. This is actually a Blind Go second deck. And normally if you can take like one monster off the field, you're like okay in terms of stopping Dragon Link. So I was pretty comfortable with that. And since he's playing Dragon Link, obviously, Winda's like pretty much a death sentence. And I do run Niall, Shaddoll, Ariel. I'm banishing 3 cards. Like any 3 cards from the graveyard is so big, especially in formats like with Eldritch and stuff like that. And I do run obviously tons of forms of disruption. So unfortunately he had enough, but so he clears my board and it's like, oh wow, that's pretty tough. But at this point, he's kind of exhausted of resources, just like me. Top decking Dark Magician, not the best, not the worst. Turns into a Silver Rocket. I knew as long as I can get 2 cards on the field, then I can just go into Predaplant. So I'm not too worried at this point, honestly. And go into another window here. He has the Super Poly, so he has another answer, which puts me in a tough spot. Shaddoll is still online for next turn fusion, so all they had to do is 800 damage. I go into Sheking. Never mind, I'm not even gonna say it. But obviously, I can just go to Red Eyes Fusion, pop, and end the game. So this deck is unique that it obviously has access to Red Eyes like everyone else, but obviously you're able to take even more advantage off of like sending those to the graveyard and being able to actually summon it like with Keeper of the Dragon magic, so you potentially have 2 on the field at any time. It's just really good. Here's Sacred Beast, and I will never understand why people play this card, but I get trying to test it out. Another really good hand. And I do search out this Destin's Rival card, or at least I think it came up on the top. So I have so much to do, and I know that getting Dark Beckoning Beast off the field is just a death sentence, basically. So, and now I can just go into Keeper of the Dragon. Now I have 2 forms of. I have 1 form of interruption, and since I fusion summon using Dark Magician, I mean it's like. Again, I was worried, like, how are you going to use this so consistently? And now you got Super Poly you can potentially think of. You have Keeper. And you obviously have this Shaddoll Fusion. So, like, you can constantly trigger this and also just trigger that Dark Magician when it's summoned, which is really good, I think. I love this deck, and I'm so happy. I feel like it really feels like this is the most playable Dark Magician has ever been. I still don't think this is going to be my final build. I'm still a little reluctant on that. But this is a hilarious duel, actually. So, Cyberse is able to, like... I don't know if they're crazy boards, but they're usually able to complete an extra link. He goes for a unique, different thing. Yeah, this guy was really cocky, too, which is hilarious, but... So I know, I'm just trying to see if he has any forms of interruption. Cyberse is not really known for interruption. It's more of like these like extra link, technically unbreakable boards. Although I'm surprised he never went for Cyberse Wizard. So he blindly has an access code Talker, I mean, which is fine because there's a lot of attack. Now I think these cards are unaffected by card effects. So yeah, okay, that's another thing that I've noticed about this that is really, really cool. So yes, you would love to consistently go into, Keeper goes into Dragoon, but it searches any normal fusion card, which could also be Shaddoll Fusion, as you guys see here. Now, so I'm able to pop that, which ends up going 1-for-1, which is important. I even tried to super poly, but again, it wasn't ultimately my thing. He was like making fun of me. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna super poly me?" He was like, "Yeah, I'll just take the attack of that and go for game." But still, I did want to show you guys that interaction with Keeper. And I do run this Kaiju for one of the Shaddoll cards, in case you're wondering. So he sets up a very formidable board for sure. 2 Omni negates technically. I go ahead and Kaiju one of those, get that out of my face. He has the Effect Veiler, which sucks really bad, but negates that, so he's out of interaction for the turn, which is good for me. I do end up going into App Cologne. It's not that important. I did want to banish a bunch of cards in his graveyard. And I'm able to go into my own Red Eyes Fusion here. Pop 2. Takes the damage. And I'm able to just swing in for game. So there's some board breakability for sure. And here is Resignators. I can't let him plus that hard, so I'd rather him go -2 and then kind of suffer the consequences at this point. I open with a pretty fantastic hand, obviously. So I know he has one really powerful piece of interaction, which is a Hot Red Archfiend Abyss. And I top decked the Dark Magician, which is awesome. He's got the Ash. He has just about everything. Except I'm still able to search whatever I want. I was going to go into 2 effect monsters, but I'm guessing that because this is negated, it acts as not an effect monster. I wanted to go into Preda, Plant Verde, but... So he's still not really able to do anything more than what he's done now, so I'm not, like, overly worried. Now, I try to bait him out, and he falls for the bait, which is insane. I don't know why he would do that. So I'm able to banish that Archfiend Abyss, and I'm able to basically take over the game at this point. I have 2 Dark Magicians in the graveyard. Pop. See ya. So... And I have another circle. I whiff. I should have stacked it in my favor, but I didn't. I really love this new support. Then I can activate Red Eyes, and since I Fusion Summon with Dark Magician, that pops that. And now now this negate is online. Could pop again. Go ahead and negate his search. No need for that for his play starters. And then if you summon anything else, I got Eternal Soul. Next turn, I probably would have Fusion Summon again. And last one I have here is Tenyi's. So I tried to show you guys a bunch of things. I love this deck, and I think it's pretty inexpensive. I'm gonna try to build it out. I have like all the Dark Magician cards, obviously, but I don't have all the Shaddoll cards just yet, so I'm kind of waiting on that. Going first is never really great, but the idea of Super Poly definitely makes your turn 1 boards like not impossible. And he started off of that because I probably, there's tons of options obviously out there for me. So that is I basically just calling it Shaddoll Dark Magicians, but utilizing all the new support. I think you guys saw a little bit of everything except for the trap card, but it's still pretty good. And obviously you can search it with Rod. It's pretty much game dependent. I would probably say would be a good way to describe that. Let me know what you guys think. I love this deck so much, and I'm really happy because you guys know I hate Dark Magicians because I like it so much. And other than that, guys, it's going to do it for today, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.